G'day, I'm Warwick Schiller and welcome back to another episode of The Principles of Training. I'm Warwick Schiller and welcome back to The Principles of Training. In this episode, I'm going to show you the process I used at a clinic recently to help a lady with her horse that has a really rushy trot, and she hasn't really cantered her for a long time because it's really rushy too. And I want to show you the process how we go from having that sort of rushy trot, rushy canter to a canter that's just nice and relaxed, and she stretches over a top line and breathes real deeply like a relaxed horse that's moving does. And this is all about the don't go to bed angry principle. And with the don't go to bed angry principle, the first thing you have to do is get them to relax before they're uptight. You don't want to wait till your horse is uptight and then go, what I want to do now is try to figure out how to get my horse to relax. That happens first. And so I have an exercise I've been doing for quite a while now, which involves just with a direct rein, putting a lot of bend in your horse's body and walking them a small straight circle so that they're perfectly round in this circle. And if you can hold that for long enough, it's hard for them to hold, when they're tense, they tend to hold their breath and hold tension in their ribs. And if you hold that circle for long enough, they will just turn loose in their ribs and just stretch down over their top line. And so that's the way we let them out of the exercise. They have to, instead of bracing up in the exercise to get a release, they have to actually relax in the exercise to get them to release. And so that's the first thing we did with this horse because that's the relaxation part. We want to be able to go from relaxed to energetic and back to relaxed again. And that's the first part we're going to do. Excellent. So that little exercise right there is a bending exercise that gets them to let go to a relaxed state. So it's not just a slow state, it's a relaxed state. So let's go ahead and go for it. How's your rushy trot these days? Okay, just go ahead and go for a trot. And when she gets rushy, I want you to take it back into a bending trot and then let it come back down to that bending for relaxation. So that's your relaxation. I want to go for a trot, and if she starts to get uptight, I want you to be able to take her back to the relaxation. It happens to be at the walk, but we're not bending her back to a walk to slow her down. We're bending her back to a walk until she's walking and relaxed. It's all about the relaxation. So go ahead and go for a trot there, Sarah. So right there, just bend her around to the right, take your hand out to the side, leave it out there, just keep walking around, keep walking around, keep walking around. You might notice it's harder for her to do this after that trot, isn't it? Keep walking around. And if you can, put a little bit more bend in her body, because right there she's not relaxing. She's faking it, and I'll talk about it in a minute. Just a slight bit more bend if you can, Sarah. There's a freeze. This is awesome. Right there, I'd let go. Okay, perfect. Just go ahead and stop for a second. So if you think about it, when she was walking around, okay, so she was, very nice. So she was walking around, and I said, okay, let's see you bending for relaxation exercise. So can you put a bend in her body, have her walk in that tight circle, and have her just kind of turn loose over a top line and stretch down, okay? That tells me relax. It happened like that at the walk. Then we went to a trot, and when she got a bit uptight, we said, okay, let's go back to the same thing. It took her a long time to find it. So we're walking and then get complete relaxation, and we start trotting, And then we're going to get from a trot back to complete relaxation. And she came back to the walk and she was bending, but she wasn't bending, walking, and relaxing. She was bending and walking. So if you reward that bending and walking, but not the relaxation part. So that there's quite a big distinction. It is not about, when your horse gets uptight, it's not about having them slow back down again, because a horse can actually slow down and hold on to the mental tension in their body. What we've really got to try to do is get those horses to slow down and relax. It's about going from a relaxed to an energetic state, and then the transition back down from energetic back down to a relaxed state. And so that's a really big distinction right here. And if you saw Sarah's horse, what she did was she trotted and she got into a bit of a, an uptight state. And when we tried to get her back to that relaxed state, she came back to the walk easily and she bent easily. But all that stopping, starting, raising her head up, those are all the ways a horse holds on to a brace. And so the thing we've got to do is make sure we get them back to a relaxed state. At the walk, just make sure you've got enough bend. I'd put a little more bend in her than that, because I think the amount of bend you've been doing it with, it's easy for her to hold her brace with that amount of bend. That little bit more bend makes it hard for them. They've got to let go in their ribs. So go ahead and pick up the trot, and 3 strides in, bend. So, giddy up, 1, 2, 3, bend, 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 more bend, more bend, more bend. Keep walking. And just wander around there until you'll watch your top line. You'll watch your pole and top of her neck, and she'll just kind of loosen up and stretch down over her top line. And I'll do all sorts of tricky things to try to make her let go. They'll swing their head around further, like, is this what you want? No, I don't want you to be obedient. I want you to just do this exercise for long enough till you go, take a big breath. There you go. Notice after that, her head's lower and she's walking slower. Notice when we walked off here and she walked off and I said, is that a relaxed walk? I said, if it's not, work on that bending for relaxation. There you go. See how slow that is? So I think more bend. And the other thing I think is wait less time. Like, don't trot around till she gets wound up. So go ahead and go for a trot. So after a while, that mare started to trot around and be very easy to come back to that relaxed state, from a trot to a walk to a relaxed state. And she was just kind of wandering around, hanging her head down. And so what I said to Sarah was, what I want you to do is I want you to pick up the trot this time and let her trot and see what happens. See if she can control herself, or see if that trot, it's a bit of a test to see if that trot starts to build and get rushy again, or if she can control herself. And she actually trotted off and trotted along, got closer, went for a bit of a trot, and then held her, maintained her composure, and then actually came back to a walk. So then we had to actually apply leg and ask her to trot again. Yeah, just wait. Now, wait. See what she does. See, she just fixed herself. She slowed back down. She went, what are we going to, oh, no, I'm good. After a while of doing that, Sarah's mare got to where she just trot around and keep trotting. She could trot around, maintain a certain speed and tempo. We could bend her back to a walk to a relaxed state. We could go again, and her trot was the same. So then I said to Sarah, okay, game time now. Now it's time to ask her to canter, and we'll see what she does when we do that. What happened then? I'm going to freak out. No, I'm not. I'm going to focus on my breathing. And then and so she goes, I'm going to rush around and just keep trotting. Very good. So when we do this thing, one of two things is going to happen. So now we're getting somewhere. Now the mare, when she gets a bit uptight, she immediately goes to bend herself back around, and she comes back to a relaxation while she's still moving forward. So there's no use us slowing down anymore, because it's not about the speed they're going at, it's the relaxation. So what I want Sarah to do now is ask her to canter. And if a horse kind of gets a bit rushy but then tries to circle around to self-soothe, I wanted to keep going forward, because we need to be able to have energy and relaxation at the same time. That's really what we're shooting for here. Just keep trotting there, Sarah. Sarah's doing so. Notice Sarah didn't steer right there. Most people would have been saying, get away from Liz's horse, get away from Liz's horse. She got herself away from Liz's horse because she circled around there, and the horse went, holy cow, this is harder work than going in a bigger circle. I'll just make a bigger circle. So right about here, Sarah, go ahead and ask for a canter. That's all right, just keep going, keep going. Oh, good, relax. Perfect. So you can see from that the mare's starting to control herself a little bit. We can ask for a canter and she will canter and not build. Remember at the trot she would go trot, 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 trot and get all worried. Now we've finally got to the canter. She's not building, but it's an ugly canter. And this is where the human factor comes in. When you first get a green or a young horse to canter, you have to take the canter they give you and be happy with it. You cannot be trying to alter the shape of their body, where they carry their head, what direction they go in or how fast they go. We just want to be able to reward the fact that they canter. And so Sarah does a great job of just sitting up there in the middle of this horse and letting her do that. So that's the first day. So when we come back, we'll show you what happened the second day and how we got to the nice relaxed soft breathing canter. You ready for this, Sarah? Go ahead. Okay, good. Go ahead and go for a walk. We're gonna ask her to trot and just let her trot. If she rolls up into a canter, let her roll up into a canter. If she canters or if she doesn't canter, we'll go, okay, now I'm gonna ask her to canter. If she canters and gets worried, and you try to stay out of her way as much as possible, but if she canters and gets worried and you need to bend her, you're only going to bend her to a trot and then go again. Because I want to get rid of the idea that when she gets worried, she then gets to rest right afterwards, because I think she has connected those two. You know, she's kind of anticipating that. Like I said yesterday, the only way you could teach a horse to spook to get out of work is if they spooked and then they got out of work. And I think she has gotten worried and bent to a stop so much, and I've never really seen it before, but yesterday the thing she was doing, it's like, yeah, that's what she's trying to do. She kind of almost, worries herself so she can stop, I think. Okay, let's just go ahead and go for a walk. So we're not going to trot yet, because now we're going to make sure that she's in the same mental state she was before. Think about this, she's just sat there for 10 minutes, okay? I don't know where she's at mentally right now. Before we stopped, we were trotting and cantering. Let's say the energy in here has changed and right now she's really wound up. So when you get over there, Sarah, you're going to pick up a trot. Good. And you might notice Sarah didn't have to steer. As she got to that other horse, she asked the horse to trot and the horse just turned. Good, just let her trot around there, Sarah. So she's going to speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down. So she canters, beautiful flying lead change right there. And so she rushed over there and then tried to stop. That's right, no big deal. So what we're doing here is allowing her to have a bit of a rush, and then she comes back down again. But what I'm trying not to do right now is interfere with her. What I'm trying to do is just allow her to explore this stuff. Right there, she was just licking her lips. You might notice when she gets that big trot, it doesn't look like it's going to get any bigger. It gets to a certain point and then she's like, oh, that was no fun. And then she's going to have a little bit of a canter right here. Cruise down here, go around there. Remember yesterday she was ducking around? Now Sarah, Let her come back to a trot. Now let her come back to a walk. And just let her stop anywhere she wants to, as long as it's not near the other horses. We'll just ask her to stop there if you can. So that was great, because think about yesterday. She was thinking about, if I get up tight, I'm going to get bent around and I get to rest. Okay? We kind of started working on it a bit yesterday and getting it to where we let her cruise around in small circles, and that didn't get her rest. And when she went straight, she got a rest. And then in the end, we finally got that little bit of a straight canter, didn't we? We planted a seed yesterday that cantering straight might be a place where you got a rest. And so she was kind of doing a little twirly bit today, but right then she kind of figured it out, and she cantered halfway around the arena without doing the little divey thing and without running away. So she's had a rest. The thing is, we want her to know she can have a rest, but it's not going to be a rest forever. Good, go ahead and walk again. Good, relaxed walk, go for a trot. She goes for canter, dump, breaks to a trot. Did you hear that canter stride was just relaxed? So this is almost like a first canter outside. We have to take the canter we get. You know, you can't say, oh, I don't want a fast canter, because that might be the only canter they can do at this point in time, and you have to be able to go with it enough. So she starts to turn, she straightens up, she goes around there, she speeds up a little bit, but see her neck stretching down? Love that. See her ears going back and forth? Very good. Her head starting to stretch down. There we go, that's what I want. That's what I'm looking for right there. Let her come back to a trot. Perfect. So Sarah hasn't cantered this horse much, and yesterday we had this erratic, crazy all over the place kind of I was awesome. Very cool. And so Sarah's the reason that's awesome. Sarah's doing something that's very hard. What Sarah's doing is nothing. You are not trying to influence her. And one of the big things that you've got to be able to do to not influence a horse doing that is control what goes on in your head. Yesterday at the start, I talked a lot about being able to control your thoughts. Your thoughts control your body, and your body transmits stuff to your horse. Right then, Sarah's just going with her horse. It's easy to do. It's not hard to do. It's not like bench pressing your own body weight or running a marathon. It's easy to do. You're all doing it right now. You guys are all doing nothing. You're sitting there relaxed. That's all Sarah did. It's easy to do up there. It's hard to do on the back of a horse that you haven't cantered much, that kind of has a history of rushing and zooming around and all that sort of stuff. That was very, very cool. So that's a lot like a first canter. And on those, those first canters, you've got to be able to allow them to canter. You want to try it again? Okay, so go ahead and go for a walk. Notice there's a lot of stuff we're ignoring. She comes by me and pins her ears, goes by the horse, pins her ears. We don't go, stop it, and slap her on the neck. She's crooked. I don't care. She came up here and she was she fell out of the lead behind. She was, out of lead behind. I don't care. What we're after is a canter. What I want to do is leave her alone at the canter. A lot of horses have trouble with the canter because as soon as they pick up the canter, the rider starts getting in their way. And so a lot of times people will ask a horse to canter, and as the horse canters off, the rider goes, oh, good. And you bang him in the mouth, you clamp your legs on him. So every time you ask the horse to canter, they stick their head in the air and they get all tense. And so Sarah rides good, but it's not her riding skill that did that. It's her mental skills it did. Let's go for a trot again, Sarah. So she has a little bit of a rush, but then it kind of just settles in and she kind of cruises around there. See her stretch her neck right there? She has a nice old canter right there. Goes around the corner. Notice she's not ducking and diving as much, because the ducking and diving isn't a, there we go. That's what I'm looking for right there. There we go. Now she's breathing in better while cantering around. Like that. And she wants to trot, that's fine, no big deal. Okay, you can stop there. There's only one more thing you've got to do, but you've got to do it on the ground. You've got to hop off it first. You're going to come around this side. You're going to turn and face me and give me a hug. That was awesome. That was cool. That was awesome. So if you think about the process over those 2 days, the first day we had to teach that horse to find a relaxed place. And you do that when they're pretty much already relaxed. Then we had to go from relaxation to an energetic feeling, to have some energy, and then be able to come back to the relaxation. That was our second thing we had to work on. But then when we got to the canter, we had to do something different. We had to, it's almost the make the wrong thing hard and the right thing easy principle, which is all about making the right thing easy and ignoring the wrong thing. And so with the canter, when she did all that spiraling around, all that head sling, all that sort of funny stuff, we just ignored that. And it wasn't until she picked up a canter and went in a straight line, then we let her rest. And that's really what she was looking for. So I hope that gives you an idea about a process with a horse like that. Join us next time for our last episode for this season of the Principles of Training.